Howdy, I'm Nestor Leconte with the Pacific Daily News. Here are our top stories from the PDN Newsroom. Captain H.B. Price Elementary School passed its health inspection with a grade of C, and students will be back to in-person class at their campus on Friday, education officials announced. 5 other schools will also be getting refurbishments using about $50 million worth of federal American Rescue Plan money that the school district needs to allocate by the end of the month, Education Superintendent Eric Swanson said at a Thursday media briefing. Price Elementary students have been attending alternating day classes at MU Lujan Elementary School, according to the Guam Department of Education. Both schools will now return to full-time classes, Education Board and Vice Chair Angel Sablan said. With Price Elementary passing, GDOE now has every single elementary school back to class 5 days a week, Swanson said. GDOE now has little more than a week to get Southern High School and Iran Middle School and Chief Brody Memorial Elementary School students back to class by Swanson's target date of September 30. In other news, Timothy Tedtauto Serebour, who was found guilty of carjacking in May this year, was sentenced to 17 years in prison. Superior Court Judge Vernon Perez handed down the sentence on Tuesday. Serebour was charged with a handful of felonies for the March 2024 incident at the Oka Palis parking lot. Although he was found not guilty on 4 of the 5 counts he faced at trial, he was found guilty of carjacking as a first-degree felony, as well as burglary and third-degree robbery. And finally, early voting for the 2024 general election will be held from October 14 to 28. That's according to Guam Election Commission Executive Director Maria Pangilinan during a GEC meeting on Thursday. Pangilinan said the early voting will take place at the Westin Resort Guam again. It's the same site as this year's primary election early voting in August. GEC had considered Micronesia Mall as a potential site, but GEC board member Joseph Meno said during a site visit the area they were shown did not meet the specifications for curbside voting, and the flow of traffic at the main entrance to the mall would be backed up, Meno said. The airport board of directors on Thursday gave the green light to start negotiating for a possible settlement in the over decade-old lawsuit filed by DFS Guam. A bench trial for the lawsuit was pushed back again in Superior Court Judge Arthur Barcenas' court as parties in the suit continue with talks of a settlement first aired by attorneys for DFS a little over 2 weeks ago. If parties do not work out a settlement, they will be back to arguing the case by November or December, according to Judge Barcenas. In other news, designated Judge Ramona Manglonia sentenced Luella Jao to 2 years in federal prison plus 3 years supervised release for her primary role in the theft of thousands of dollars from the Alupang Beach Club. Her son Joshua Jao and his wife Saori each received 6-month prison sentences plus a year each of supervised release for their role in a scheme that ran for at least 5 years. As part of a plea agreement, the Jaos pleaded guilty to conspiracy to use means of identification in furtherance of fraud. According to the federal indictments, Luella Jao set up a system which would reroute falsely claimed commissions to use for her personal benefit. And finally, women have the power to influence the future, and the time to use it is now. That's according to Madeline Zuan Trang Milky, who specializes in political and nonprofit fundraising and political training for nearly 30 years. Milky was the keynote speaker at the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce's signature Women in Business Summit on Thursday at the Dusit Guam Resort. She shared valuable insights on the representation of women and minorities in leadership positions and the challenges they face, and gave pointers in breaking barriers. The Business Summit brought together hundreds of women and other community members to hear from inspiring speakers and trailblazers, take part in master classes, engage in panel discussions, and gave lots of opportunities to network. For more of these stories, go to GuamPDN.com and follow us on social media.